The jig. For some reason, it's a challenge to learn. It was for me, and many of you have also expressed that tough learning curve. And really, what it boils down to is learning that bite, detecting what that bite actually feels like. And out of all the different ways to fish a jig, this method is the one that will get you feeling that bite the easiest, and that is the straight drag. While there are many ways you can fish a jig, and we'll talk about some of the others, that straight drag is the simplest and fastest to identify that mysterious bite. You've probably heard a jig bite described as a thump. When fishing the lure like this, that is exactly what will happen most often, that single thump. The straight drag is so effective for a couple of reasons. One, it keeps the lure in contact with the bottom. And two, there is little to no slack in the line. So you as the angler will feel anything out of the ordinary quicker, allowing you to respond with a solid hook set. Many slackline methods like the jig falling or popping it up off the bottom and dropping back down on a slack line require more attention to detail, specifically line watching. Bass will so often slurp that lure up and then barely move. You may feel almost nothing, but see the line jump the tiniest bit. That is the bass inhaling the lure. Here's a perfect example of this. I was fishing some docks on Smith Mountain Lake in Virginia. I flipped my jig along the outside corner and let it drop on a slack line. After a few seconds, I thought, man, I haven't felt bottom yet. That's weird. Then I noticed slack line still laying on top of the water. I reeled up fast and set the hook. A nice bass had inhaled it on the fall and then didn't move at all. Totally caught me off guard. But that's how those bites on a slack line can be. The same thing can happen hopping a jig, or this may be what you experience. When you pop or hop that jig off the bottom, a bass will often react. The next time you go to move the jig, you will feel weight, almost like you're hung on something. Well, swing away. A big old bass may be holding on to it. And once again, not always swimming off. But start with that steady dragging method if jig fishing is new to you, and I promise you will figure it out. Then your confidence will soar, and soon all the other nuances of fishing a jig for bass will start to fall into place. And hey, if you want to watch a video on the most common mistake when jig fishing, go ahead and check this one out right here. And make sure that you go out and encourage someone today. You never know how you might just change their life. For the Bass Fishing Life, I'm your host, Steve Rogers.